And good morning, YouTube. It's the old soldier coming at you from Robeson County, North Carolina, where it is foggy, mildly cool, due to warm up today to about 70. We're supposed to get some sunshine today. Maybe that'll brighten people's spirits some. Anyway, folks, I hope everybody's doing all right, all things considered. Got a report last night and confirmed it, that Dare County, North Carolina has basically closed its borders to anybody coming in outside of a certain set of rules they've established for people that work there, have employment there, but no visitors. Okay. But from what I understand, they're okay for their own people leaving the county and coming back. Now, that just doesn't make a lick of sense, but anyway, thought I'd share that with you because, you know, that goes to show you the level of madness that is hitting North Carolina. Not to mention the governor supposedly issued an executive order stating that all restaurants and bars are to be closed except for takeout orders. Him and Dipstick New York must be talking. Folks, I get it. I really do get it, but at the same token, Governor Cooper's supposed to be all about law and order and rule of law, but yet, you know, he's upset because the lieutenant governor called him out on how that was supposed to be done. Long story short, if you don't need to be out, don't be out. But let's face it, some people need to eat, and they need a place to eat. Not everybody's got that luxury. Okay? I don't know the 100% solution, but anyway. Other places are talking about enacting quarantines. Now, what was funny was that there's a disagreement between the governor and the mayor of New York, or the governor of New York and the mayor of New York City. Let's get it straight there. The mayor's talking about potentially quarantining off the whole city, and the governor's like, "Oh, buddy, you can't do that without my say-so." And so, you know, power plays, I guess, I don't know. But it's getting to be, to quote what Mel Gibson said in the movie We Were Soldiers, it's getting to be a little sporty. I had a conversation with a young man last night, called me, wanted to know if he thought it was crazy to be working in an exfil plan to move his family to a secluded location. I said, no, not at all. I said, given what's going on, having that exfil plan, if you can't shelter in place where you're at, it is actually an optimal idea. I said, right now though, if you had to do it, you know, preferably you don't want to travel too extremely far, but he's kind of like me. He's an old soldier himself, but he's kind of like me, kind of seeing some things going on. Like I said, where I'm at in the part of North Carolina, people have been civil so far. Now, I told you yesterday that the wife and I went and did some shopping the day before. While people were courteous and friendly, there was a couple, three shoppers that, and I didn't tell you this yet, but there was a couple, three shoppers that had 2, maybe 3 buggies loads full of stuff. Now, they didn't have a whole lot of one over another, but I mean, they were packed out. Now, And we went to, we went to a Dollar General, Food Line, and a Harris Teeter. Yesterday on my way home, I decided to stop at old Piggly Wiggly. Yeah, we still got those here where I'm at. So we stopped at Piggly Wiggly, or I did, and picked up some beanie weenies, things of that nature. Got some more paper towels and some Kleenexes. They were completely out of toilet paper and disinfectants. But what I would tell you, if you go to the Center for Disease Control's website, they'll tell you the same thing. Just soap and water is really your best protection and your best friend. Wash your hands and wash them often. Don't touch your face, kind of thing. Like I said yesterday, I had to go to work for a meeting on how we're going to address this, with students. And just to be quite honest, nobody had a real clear idea because of the fluidity of the situation. I did hear in the news this morning that I think it was Kansas and California both have canceled school for the remainder of the school year. North Carolina follow suit? Who knows? If you live in this state, do not trust anything that comes out of the mouth of Roy Cooper. If you want straight scoop or straight information, listen to Dan Forrest. Do not question anything that Roy Cooper says. But will North Carolina follow Kansas and California? I don't know. Only time will tell. They're saying Italy's getting pretty smacked pretty hard with this. One thing though, folks, you can't compare apples to oranges, and I'm going to say that to say this: Europe has a different way of living than here in the United States. I'll say that again. Europe has a different way of living than we do here in the United States. The average home here in the United States ranges anywhere from 1,700 to 2,700 square foot. A lot of space, a lot of room, a lot of distance. The average home in Europe, as far as large home, is 1,700 square foot. So you can imagine what the smaller spaces are like. I know from my time in Germany, if you lived in a town or a city, most people lived in apartments. And most of the apartments were 1, maybe 2 bedrooms at best. A living room, an extremely small kitchen. It's just how they live. A lot of their towns are old. The buildings are in close proximity to each other. They are used to communal gatherings. Okay. When I was stationed in Germany, I could walk out the gate of my out of the base I was on, or Kaserne as we called them over there, and left or right within a block to 2 blocks, restaurant, guest house, bar, little store. Okay. I didn't have a car when I was in Germany, so anywhere I wanted to go in Ansbach, I pretty much either had to take a cab or walk. I did a lot of walking. I mean, it was just that easy. You could, get around. But what I'm saying is the buildings were tight together. The apartments were tight and close together. You buy a house in Germany, a lot of times it's not an individual house. It's usually like buying like a duplex condo type deal. You might have one side and another family has the other. You share yard space. You might share parking space. Things of that nature. So that, so if you start to see, and we're speculating on this one, but more than likely, if you see a spike in the number of infections and deaths in Europe, that could be a contributing cause. Now here in the U.S., if you live like where I'm at, I'm in a rural area, and it's one of the largest counties in North Carolina that has 1, 2, maybe 3 major population center and a whole bunch of small towns and communities scattered throughout. Okay, Lumberton being the largest. If I was guessing, man, St. Paul's would be next. Red Springs would be your 3 biggest towns in Robeson County. Then you've got smaller towns like Lumber Bridge, Parkton, where I live, Maxton. Pembroke is pretty sizable, and also got a university there. You got the University of North Carolina, Pembroke there, UNCP. A lot of farming communities around. But then if you go north into Cumberland County, you've got Fayetteville, Hope Mills. Go a little further north, you hit Harnett County, Lillington, Sanford. People start to get a little more clustered together at that point in time. The point I'm getting at is that in certain settings, things are more primed to spread faster in other areas, I guess. But people got to stop panicking. The panic buying's got to stop. I get the need to stay at home if you ain't got to go nowhere. That I fully agree with. But I think when we get to the impact, or the point that it's going to impact how we live on a daily basis the rest of our lives, then we need to stop and readdress this thing. But anyway, kind of rambling on, but like I said, folks, this is something in my lifetime I've never really fully experienced. Now, I will share this with you, that I can remember my mother growing up talking about the polio scare. Polio was a big one in her time as a little girl, and my dad's time as a boy and a young man. And when they finally come out with the vaccine, everybody got their children vaccinated. But by that time, there were several people that had contracted it, had died from it. Were paralyzed from it. I mean, Franklin Delano Roosevelt was a victim of it. When I was in high school, I was in an Air Explorers Club where local community pilots, taught us a little bit about flying. And one of the pilots I had was a doctor. But he had been stricken with polio as a child and had survived and made about a 90% recovery, but it still had a definitive impact on some parts of his central nervous system, that he had to use a seat cushion every time he sat down on a chair. It just, something about the polio had affected it. So, but the thing is, with our generation, we've never had such a pandemic scare before, I guess, is why other people are freaking out. But I can remember my mom and dad both talking about, the measles outbreak, the mumps. The German measles was one that, the German measles went around that really did a number on people. 1918, Spanish flu. People don't realize how many people died from it worldwide. Somewhere in the I'd have to go back and look it up, but it was over 1 million people. It really did a number on the population. Of course, you know, you got China still blaming us for their gaffe. But again, you know, I think too they weren't expecting the world to react the way it did when this thing exploded the way it has. So there, you know, this threatens their economy. If all the Western nations see this and what China has done, decide, you know what, we're done doing business with you. We're bringing our factories and our plants and our people back home. It will have an extremely devastating impact on the Chinese economy. So why wouldn't they blame the U.S. for this? And try to get the rest of the world to jump on board with them. So that's another thing. But hopefully for our industry and our manufacturers and our business people, they'll see this for what it is and realize, you know what? We need to start making quality goods back in the good old United States of America again. Get this thing under us and get the factories going back up here again. Get the textile mills going again. Get the wood furniture plants going again. That's really what needs to happen. Man, it is foggy today. Whee. Anyway, folks, that's about all the rambling I've got in me today. Pray and hope all of you are doing well. Stay safe. Stay quarantined if you are sick. Stay quarantined if you think you might be sick. Don't get out if you ain't got to. If you do, wash your hands. Don't touch your face. All that good mess. But last bit of advice I will give you is this. Treat everybody with the dignity and respect that you wish to be treated with, especially if you do have to go to a store. Don't take out your frustrations on the person behind the counter. They're there trying to do a job. It's not their fault the delivery truck didn't come with the toilet paper or the ketchup. It's not their fault that, you know, the manager won't release stock from the back. So if you got a bone to pick with the store, take it up with their manager. Don't take it with that young person behind the counter that's, you know, there to check you out. And, be cordial, be courteous, be kind. Okay, be kind to your fellow customers. The older lady, when I stopped at Piggly Wiggly, was getting her car loaded, and she needed to move her buggy, but I just said, ma'am, just give it here. I'll take it up for you. I didn't think nothing of it. Wiped my hands off with some hand sanitizer when I got in my truck. Called it a day. Okay. We don't want it happening here. What happened down in Australia a few weeks ago? You get people fighting over toilet paper. I imagine it's happened here. Just hadn't seen any of it in the news. But let's not fight over toilet paper, folks. And another thing, use social media for good. If you need something, put a call out on social media and see if your friends and neighbors got some spares. And likewise, if you got more of something you don't need, let people know. So hey, you need some condensed milk or some canned milk. I got 20. I got 30. You know, help one another out right now, and we'll all get through this thing fine. But anyway, folks, y'all take care. You be good to each other. Be safe. Stay well. And we'll get another video out tomorrow. This is the Old Soldier out. God bless. Take care.